recently wrote a piece called White, Grey, Blue that uses those sound effects throughout. And I just want to spend just a couple of minutes just talking to you about different types of beaters to use. So I had a pair of beaters like these, which some of you may have, from Caroline Lizotte, who uses the sound effects brilliantly in her music. And what I noticed was that if you use them a lot, after a while they start to wear out and you start to get like grooves all across the sort of the head. And then once you've got the grooves, they just really don't work at all. So as you can see, there's nothing really coming out of these, whereas they used to sound absolutely fantastic when I first started using them. And it is because I've literally just worn them out. So I thought what I need to do is find a solution. And I investigated by buying some percussion sticks online that had a similar type of head. I've got these here. I even got this is a crystal bowl ball. And what I found was that these didn't work at all. And I think the reason why they didn't work is because of the handle. It has got something to do with the actual head, but I think it's more to do with the handle that is going to give you the sound. So essentially, the bigger the handle, it's just not going to work at all. So if I just demonstrate with this percussion stick, as you can see, it's just absolutely nothing at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make your own. So here's how to make your own sticks for making whale noises on the harp. First of all, you're going to need 4 different things. You're going to need a selection of high bounce rubber balls. These are 25mm ones, which seem to be the most common ones that I could find online. Generally, there's obviously lots of different types of balls. These ones have glitter in because they kind of got a sort of smoother gloss surface. There was also a whole load that had pictures in, and actually the ones I've got, they give a really interesting sound. And then there was these kind of more matte type ones. Again, a different sound, but I'm not sure about the longevity of these. So I'm glad I got a different selection of them. The second thing is the stick. So I got this from the crafting section online, and these are 4mm wood dowel rods. And as you see, I've got a pack 100 of them, so I've got lots of sticks to make. The third thing, which I highly recommend, is a hand drill set. So they cost about £10 in the UK online. If you've got an electric drill, I'm just going to say don't use an electric drill. I just don't think that's a great idea at all. It works perfectly well with these hand drill sets, and like I say, they don't cost too much money at all. And then the final thing is glue. Now you need to make sure, when you, obviously other brands of glue are available, you need to make sure that it's going to bond rubber. And that's what I found was quite interesting, was that lots of the glues, when you looked at the small print, didn't say rubber. So just make sure that it's going to do rubber. So those are the 4 things for making your sticks. Okay, let's get cracking and make one. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this drill bit over to a really thin one, just to kind of do a guiding hole. I've found that the balls split really easily, so I'm just hoping that by doing this sort of guiding hole with a thin one first, that might help. So I'm going to select, I think I'll actually do one of these ones first. So obviously you don't want to go more than halfway, and I found that it's really difficult to actually get the hole in straight without it going in at an angle. So I'm just going to carefully try and, I think that's so, yeah, great. So with one of these you can more or less push it in, push the drill bit in, and that's probably about halfway. Yeah, great. Okay, so I'll just change that over to the bigger drill bit. With this particular set, I couldn't find a hand drill set that went up to the size of the diameter of the rods. So I think this is a 3mm drill bit, which was the biggest that I could actually find to fit this machine, but actually it works fine. So just get that as tight as we can. And we're just going to use that guide hole that I pushed in with the thin one. And it's just a case of just twisting it around and trying to keep it centre so it doesn't go at an angle. And I think this one might be at a slight angle, but hopefully not too much of one. It's really easy to push this too far through, so just be careful. I'm just going to make a mark of how far I've gone. Yeah, I've gone that far in, so that's probably absolutely plenty. Now what I'm going to do is just check that on the stick. I'm just going to make a little mark with my nail there so I know how far to push it in. And that is actually going to go in, I'll just twist it carefully in. And that's going to go in absolutely fine, and it doesn't seem to have split the rubber either, which is really good news. And again, I just want to make sure I don't push that in too far. Okay, just giving it a little twist. Cool. And actually, do you know what, that would probably stay on as it is, but I am going to use some glue, and I just want to make sure that it's absolutely staying on and doesn't come off mid-performance. So I'm just going to actually just dip it into the pot. I think that's going to be the easiest way of doing it, because I don't want too much of it. There we go. So I just got a thin coat of that on it, and I'm just going to put the lid back on. And let's just twist that in. Excellent, that seems to be working really well. And I'll just give that a little push. There we go, you can kind of see the glue just at the bottom. There. Perfect, so I am just gonna let that rest for it to seal, and then I'll try that out and see how that works.